What we're going to want to do is go underneath because we've got a leaker. So now what we're going to do is address that humming sound, and we know it is coming from the front. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the bearings in the hub. So what we'll want to do is pull out the quick jack and get the Porsche up in the air and check out these wheels. Alright, so we've got the car up, and the one thing we want to do is just shake the tire side to side and up and down. And we definitely have some bad bearings. Alright, so now what we're going to want to do is go underneath because we've got a leaker. So what we're going to do here is replace the oil pan gasket. We need to take this underpan off, remove the control arms from the chassis, drain the oil of course, and we're going to need to support the engine from above because we're going to have to pull the subframe off to access the oil pan. So now, let's go ahead and drain the oil and get it all set up and get ready to pull. So here's a little trick. If your tie rod spins when you're trying to loosen it or even tighten, what you can do is take your jack and carefully jack up the tie rod, and that should jam the tie rod into the control arm and then give you the ability to loosen your nut. All right, so we got the oil pan out, and just to kind of give you an overview, we've dropped the subframe. We had to disconnect the motor mounts and as well the steering rack. We had to drop the control arms, and as well we had to drop the AC compressor so we could get to the bolts of the oil pan. But everything looks good underneath. We did have a missing bolt, and a couple were very loose, almost falling out. So now we have the oil pan. Oil's just really dirty, a little bit cracked on the gasket. So now what we're going to do is clean this up. Clean up, looks like they used some sealant, which from what I understand is not a good idea on these. So we're going to clean all that up, and we've set out the new seal because it's packaged. So these were flat, so letting it sit out for a day is a good tip. So now we get that cleaned up and get it back in the car. And also to say that this is the perfect time to take a look at your rod bearings. So really get in there and see and inspect, make sure they're all right, and as well take a look at your oil inside and make sure that there's no metal shavings or metal bits when you're cleaning the oil pan out. So we went ahead and cleaned up the oil pan, and it's looking great. And now we have cleaned the gasket and placed floss in the corners and along the sides to hold the gasket in place, and a little bit of ultra gray from Permatex, and that's going to just help seal these corners. So now what we're going to do is clean the underside of the block, make sure that's all nice and clean, and then go ahead and follow the tightening instructions and the torque settings. And we're going to go at hand tight, then we're going to go to half of the torque spec, and then go through and do the full torque on all of the bolts in the order that it suggests. All right, so we got the oil pan in, and one thing to show is we put some tape down and marked all of our sequence of tightening and also the specs. Now I wrote down 2, 4, 6 foot-pounds, but I actually went 2, 3, 5, and then 6. This is an aluminum oil pan, so we wanted to be really careful. And so now we're going to go ahead and put everything back up. All right, guys, so we have finished the Porsche 944. It's going to go on to a new home. So thanks so much for watching. If you guys like what you see and you haven't, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. Don't forget to share, and we have the 260Z coming really soon. Really excited for that. A little bit of body work right now getting done, and we will be on it very soon. especially the engine. Engine's going to be next. So until then, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you then.